8:16 in the morning on a Friday. Almost the weekend. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Time to break out the flannel here in western Iowa. 50 degrees unofficially this morning for a low. And at 8:16 we're up to 58 degrees. So a cool start, and it's going to be a cool weekend and rainy here as well. Let's take a look at the weather spotlight. Longest streak of 90-degree days ever in Tucson. They tied that streak yesterday at 126 days in a row, 90 degrees or better. I spent 15 years of my life in Tucson, and one thing I don't miss is the heat. There are some things I do miss, the hiking especially. The desert is beautiful. All right, part 2 of the weather spotlight. All right, a friend of mine works at the Dodge City National Weather Service office as one of their meteorologists, and that is where we're going today. For appreciable rainfall this weekend, flash flooding is possible in isolated spots, and there you see some of the rainfall amounts expected. Widespread 1.5 to 2 inches from Dodge City to Garden City, and all the way up to, is that Lincoln, Elizabeth? So places like that. Even Syracuse could see 1 inch to 1.5 inches in the dark green. So many parts of Kansas expecting some heavy rain this weekend. All right, let's go back to our hazards where we started because I forgot to mention them. It's getting cold up there. Panhandle of Idaho up into northeastern Washington, freeze watch in effect. We have red flag warnings going on for Wyoming into parts of South Dakota. Kind of windy still. Windy in Oklahoma as well. Into Arkansas, a little bit of Texas there. Wait, is that wind? No, that's a heat advisory. Oh my gosh. I need more coffee this morning. A little bit of fog up there, Virginia, Maryland, and along the coast. Could see some coastal flooding as well. Surface for today looks like this. We've got our front moving through the Midwest and through Kansas, and then also into stationary into eastern New Mexico, which will be a big player tomorrow for severe weather. But look for scattered rain showers. Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, a little bit of Oklahoma into the Midwest. Although the main rain event for Kansas up into Nebraska and Iowa is this weekend. Arizona and California, Utah, Nevada seeing a little bit of rain on this map as well. And some rain up in the northeast and some rain in northern Montana with a little bit of snow around Glacier National Park. Severe weather for today, Kansas, a little bit of Oklahoma into Missouri, just south of me in southeastern Iowa and Omaha South in southeastern Nebraska. Did I say southeastern Iowa, southwestern Iowa? And then marginal risk also from Grand Rapids, Michigan through Indianapolis, down through, I think, Springfield, Illinois, into close to Joplin in Missouri. So there's a few isolated storms could be severe in these areas. Highs today. Here's your heat advisory for Oklahoma and Texas, near 100 and feeling hotter with some of that humidity. So summer hanging on here, even mid-90s up into Kansas, southern Missouri, low 90s for northern Missouri to Omaha, and then mid-80s, say for Iowa and to parts of Illinois, and upper 80s to near 90 Indiana, low 90s Ohio, Kentucky, mid-90s Tennessee into the south, low 90s, and upper 80s for say Georgia and the Carolinas, and then we shift back to 70s to near 80 for New England, even a few 60s here. Meanwhile, looks like Tucson will end their streak, so they won't break the record. They will have tied their record of days over 90 degrees. No, I'm sorry, that's over 90 still. They're going to break the record. Okay, I was thinking 100. All right, also for the West, did I mention coffee? I think I did. We've got 80s through Central California coast, 70s along the coast of Oregon and Washington. Lows tomorrow morning. Refreshingly cool. Actually not as cool this tomorrow morning as this morning for parts of Iowa, say. We were, like I said, 50 this morning. Will be 60s tomorrow, 70s to start the day. Kansas, Oklahoma into Texas and into Louisiana, Arkansas, also parts of Florida. But 60s up the East Coast and then transitioning to 50s, Pennsylvania, and some 40s up in Maine. Lots of 40s in the West, 30s with elevation, 50s for Central California, and then back to 60s and 70s for the desert Southwest for tomorrow. Our front making progress through the Central Plains, and we'll see more widespread showers here and storms, especially, and also with that warm front moving through Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois. So this is where we could see, again, severe weather and also our heaviest rainfall. Colorado, some snow, and severe weather, really the bullseye here, eastern New Mexico, a little bit of West Texas. So, that's where our slight risk is. So our best chance for severe storms, Roswell to almost Lubbock included in the marginal risk. And then you get up into where I live, here in western Iowa, southeastern Nebraska, including Lincoln and Omaha. We're looking at a chance for some severe storms. In Lincoln, the University of Nebraska hosting football tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. And also marginal risk when you get into Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and western Pennsylvania. Our tornado risk, however, the only one this week, so we have a 2% chance of tornadoes for Roswell, New Mexico, Clovis, New Mexico, Lovington, Jowl, near Carlsbad, into West Texas, west of Lubbock, say places like Levelland, up into Lamb County, Sudan, Muleshoe. You guys are all included in slight risk of tornadoes for tomorrow. If storm chasers are out, this is where they're likely to be. Highs for tomorrow, still hot. Texas, Oklahoma, mid to upper 90s, although a little cooler west, 90 for Lubbock. Mid 90s throughout the southeast, near 90 Georgia, upper 80s for South Carolina, and for Florida, mid 80s as you go through the mid-Atlantic, transitioning to 70s and even some 60s in the Northeast. The Ohio Valley, we've got upper 80s to near 90 for Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, mid 90s for parts of Tennessee. And then we get still mid 80s on Saturday for Iowa. That's going to change dramatically on Sunday, which is evidenced by what's behind the front in South Dakota, North Dakota, 60s here. And that's what we're looking for Iowa for Sunday. 60s into Montana, and 70s widespread throughout the West, although hotter through Central California and the southwestern part of the United States. Rainfall for the next 2 days. Big winters, Kansas, Missouri, Texas and Oklahoma Panhandle, northeastern New Mexico, parts of Colorado, up to 2 inches of rain or more in these areas possible. And our surface for Sunday, that cold front now moving through the Midwest, through the Central Plains, into the Southern Plains. So much more widespread rain here, scattered showers and storms. Florida also with some scattered showers and storms. The Sunshine State, they lead the nation in lightning deaths, as an aside. Anyway, Arizona couldn't be the Sunshine State because the Grand Canyon trumps everything. That's what happened. Colorado, some snow, also parts of Montana. Here are your highs on Sunday, and that's what I'm talking about for Iowa. Widespread 60s for highs. Even some 50s as you get into Nebraska, Kansas, eastern Colorado, parts of Wyoming, and then transitioning back into 60s and 70s as you head further to the north. Lots of 70s in the west, low 90s Central California, low to upper 90s for the southwest. Cooling off in West Texas, but still warm around Dallas 94, for example. And as you get into parts of Oklahoma, still waiting for that front. Arkansas, low 90s, low to mid 90s, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, mostly 80s for Florida, low 90s for Tennessee, near 90 to Kentucky and Ohio. But, look at Indiana, Illinois, 70s to near 80. And then lots of 70s for the East Coast from Virginia northward and some 60s in here as well. Let's take a look real quick at the European model. And we'll start out this morning. our low that was, that brought all the wind and rain and snow to Montana as well up here in Canada now. Pretty quiet this morning, a few showers in the Great Lakes. And as we go through this morning, this takes us to about noon. Here's afternoon. See a few showers for Michigan into Indiana, but pretty quiet for the most part. As we get into this evening, we start to see some of these storms busting out for Missouri. Just south of me in Iowa, I'm hoping one might sneak in here because we do need the rain, and we're looking forward to a lot of rain this weekend, but it would be nice if it starts tonight. And as we get later in the night, starting to get into Saturday morning now, we're looking at those showers across parts of southern Iowa into mainly Missouri. Now we're seeing northeastern New Mexico start to pop up with some showers moving into Colorado and expanding into Oklahoma, into Kansas, into Nebraska, into Iowa, even parts of Wisconsin. This is kind of our main event here. And then even our still low in Canada still having some effect with a trailing front into Wisconsin. This is late Saturday night, and as we get into midnight and then Sunday morning, lots of rain across Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and moving into Illinois, and maybe some strong storms along that front for Wisconsin and Michigan. But like I said, this is the main event for the heaviest rain this weekend. Some of these showers and storms back here into West Texas as well. As we get into Sunday noon, Sunday afternoon, some big storms. West Texas as that cold front presses southward and eastward. Kansas, some big storms. Also into Missouri, now Indiana, into Michigan. And as we get further into the day, this is Sunday night late. At front, sparking some storms, Kansas, Oklahoma, some big storms down here in Texas, and our low forming in the Great Lakes area, Ohio Valley, seeing some rain showers here. And as we get further into, this is midnight Sunday, this is Monday morning, we see those showers and storms still lingering for Iowa and into Missouri and into Illinois, Indiana as well. And still some isolated showers and storms for Oklahoma and Texas. And this will end our loop here as we get into Monday afternoon. Like I've said many times, it's your forecast through the weekend here on the Weather Mic and beyond a little bit. So taking a look at our 6 to 10 day temperature probabilities, the whole country has a good chance of above average temperatures here on this map, but especially north and west. And then our precipitation chances above average, chances for above average rainfall for the southeast. We're still watching our tropical system possibilities here. I'll update you on that tomorrow. I just wanted to wait till we got a little bit closer to have at least a little bit more certainty, but I think we'll see at least some tropical moisture, if not an outright hurricane here. And then for the north and the west and parts of the central part of the country, drier than average, everyone with sort of equal chances for average temperatures. So there you go, your forecast through the weekend, which starts any minute now. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and a tropical update tomorrow. And of course, we'll continue to update you on the rest of the forecast as we go. Thank you again for tuning in the Weather Mic.